Good morning, class. How are you today? Jason, your hand is already up, but I have not asked a question yet. And no, you cannot go to the men's room right now. Class, as future accountant, there are many accounting software that can produce reports, financial statement, whatever reports you want. The rationale behind this lesson is for you to understand the concept of what goes on when you make entries into the system. In accounting, there is this word called GIGO, meaning garbage in, garbage out. And it means that if you put incorrect information into the system, at the end of the month, you're going to have incorrect balance sheet, income statement, cash flow report, and everything. This is extremely important that what you enter into the computer is accurate because managers and CEO, they need to have this information for planning, for budgeting, and also to pay day-to-day expenses. They also need to know that they're confident in you as accountant that what you put into the computer is going to generate accuracy and they can rely on this information. So the reason for doing this particular lesson and doing it manually on the computer in Excel is to give you a chance to see step by step what goes in. So when you do access the computer and have to do this work on the computer, you will have a better working knowledge of how they arrive at some of the figures and accounts that's on your trial balance. So it's important for you to understand the concept and for you to be able to go anywhere and pull up a trial balance and know exactly what's going on and how income statement and other financial reports are generated from this trial balance. So class, there is a term in accounting, a principle called revenue principle of accounting. And what that says, all revenues, all expenses must be recognized in the period they occurred. So for example, you have the month of August. All of the revenues for August, all of the revenues for expenses must be recognized in the period of August. And that is the reason why we have adjusted entries at the end of the period. An unadjusted trial balance is one that occurs at the beginning with all the expenses after you post them to their prospective account. They are balances at the beginning. And as you move towards the end, there are expenses that are incurred but have not been paid, but they still have to be recognized in that period because of the revenue principle of accounting. So the adjusting entries are those entries which has not gotten on the books yet. They have not been paid for, but they have to be accrued as expense for the period in which it occurs. So some of those adjusting entries may be sale, may be taxes payable, and wages payable. For salaries, for example, you are close to the ending of the month and the salaries are paid at maybe sometime at the beginning, but the employees have to be paid within that period. So that's why we have to accrue those expenses. And after we prepare the adjusted trial balance, which is the unadjusted trial balance plus the adjusted entry, give you the adjusted trial balance. And from that trial balance is where you would prepare your financial statement, like an income statement or balance sheet. Now, what goes on an income statement? Well, all revenues, all expenses goes on an income statement. And on the balance sheet, your assets, liability, and owner's equity goes on the balance sheet. So that accounting equation, asset minus liability equal owner's equity, is that balance sheet items. So that is how you remember it. So something, for example, cash and anything payable, accounts receivable, accounts payable, all those things will go on your balance sheet. And what's on your income statement? All the revenues, all the sales for that period, and all the expenses that incurred in that period. Okay, class? So, any questions? Great. Let's move on. So class, we are going to open the Google Docs and we are going to locate the unadjusted trial balance, the journal entries or the adjusting entries, and the adjusted trial balance. Then we are going to analyze which account goes on the income statement and which goes on the balance sheet. And then from there, we will prepare income statement and balance sheet. Now, don't forget, income statement, only revenues and expenses. On the balance sheet, assets, liability, and owner equity. So class, let's do this together. Now class, we are going to split up in groups of 3. The link for your group will be sent via your school email account. Your group will make adjusting entries, create an adjusted trial balance, and prepare an income statement and balance sheet from the document that you created. So that should be fun and exciting. I want you all to get in your groups and look for the email and then begin working as a group to complete that task. Thank you. Now class, here comes the fun part. You get to do it all by yourself. You get to work independently. What I have done was create for you, all of you. Each have your own account in Google Docs. Go there again. And each of the trial balance, they're different. So you guys will really be working independently because no student have the same information. You will retrieve that information. You will prepare journal adjusting entries, and you are going to prepare an adjusted trial balance. So therefore, you will already have had in Google Docs an unadjusted trial balance. So all you have to do is prepare the adjusted entries from the information given, and then add it to produce an adjusted trial balance. And from there, you go ahead and prepare your income statement and your balance sheet. You will do that individually, and we'll see how it goes at the end of the class. Thanks, class. So class, let me have your attention. It's almost 5 minutes before the bell ring, and we've learned a lot today. You learned about adjusting entries, you learned about um, adjusted trial balance, you learned about income statement, balance sheet, what goes on the income statement, and so on. Just raise your hand. Let me see how many completed the income statement and balance sheet. Okay, so a few of you are still working on it. So what we will do is I will collect these from you tomorrow. So you have a chance to go home and complete it, and we'll finish it. You'll finish it tonight, and I will collect them in the morning. Just let you know that it's going to count as part of your grade. Just want to see if you understand the concept and to see if I need to go over or reteach anything before we move on to the next section. Okay, class, so thank you so much for listening and have a great day. Please put all your materials back. Don't forget your bags and coats and what else, okay? And I will see you tomorrow.